everyone, I join you today for a very belated book haul, and this is part 3, I think, of my winter book haul series. I will leave links to any previous ones down below because I can't remember what number we're on. I only know where I've got to because I've been putting off filming this video for so long because it is such a massive haul. But it's the worst kind of haul for me because it's a massive Kindle haul, which means lots of editing of lots of images to go right there. These are all Kindle books that I purchased in December, in most cases very late December in the sales, for 99p, except for one which was actually free. And so some of these are ones that I've been eager to get to, some of them are ones that I don't know very much about, and so I've got my laptop here with me so that I can remember all these and know something about all of them as I go. So the first book I purchased in December was Tatiana and Alexander, which is the second book in the Bronze Horseman trilogy by Paulina Simons. And I've heard so many good things about this series. I don't even know whether I own the first one or not. It's just one of those series that I am just sort of buying so I can binge read it all at some point because so many people love this series, especially Aoife, and I trust Aoife, so if it's amazing, it's amazing. I trust her. I can't wait to read this series when I definitely own them all. I might even own them all for now. I don't think I do though. That's terrible, isn't it? This is a historical fiction series and features a love story, and that's all I actually know. The next book is actually the one free one that I got in December, and that was the Dark Days Club, which is the first book in the Lady Helen series. And this is by Alison Goodman, and I was actually really happy to get this on Kindle for free because it's one of those books where every time I'd gone into a bookshop, I'd looked at this book, picked it up, had a little leaf through it, had a little sniff. Don't judge. You shouldn't be judging. You will telling me you've never sniffed a book in a bookshop. And so I've been like almost close to buying it so many times and I hadn't, and I'm so glad I hadn't because I think I'd have been really annoyed if I'd then seen the Kindle copy for free. I don't remember an awful lot about this one except that I feel like it's some sort of historical fiction / fantasy. I'm not sure. The next book is again one that I have seen Aoife talk about, and it's one that she's not so keen on. And I'm starting to learn that when she really doesn't like a book, I really enjoy picking it up because I love seeing her reaction versus my own reaction. So I've picked this one up in the hope that I have that sort of experience again. And this is Dark Fever by Karen Marie Moaning. And I don't know an awful lot about this series. I know that quite a few people enjoy this series. Next we have This Savage Song by V.E. Schwab, which is an author whose books I keep on buying, but I still haven't read any of them. This is one of her latest ones, if not the latest one, and I've heard really great things about it. I just need to get around to reading it. Then we have, oh, what a surprise! A Gathering of Shadows, again by V.E. Schwab. I did tell you I keep buying her books and then not reading them. I also own the first book in this series, which is from the Darker Shade of Magic series, and the first book is A Darker Shade of Magic. And I've had that quite a while and I still haven't read that either, so you know, I need to read these. Oh, this just goes from one author collection to another. Next we have a series of several books that are all by Brandon Sanderson, even though I've never read a single book by him. And, well, I've read a graphic novel. I've read his graphic novel, but beyond that, I've not read anything by him yet. I felt the need to purchase Shadows of Self. I also got The Alloy of Law and The Hero of Ages, The Well of Ascension, Steelheart, and Fireflight. Nope, that's not what it's called. Firefight. And so, yes, I need to read his work. I really hope I like his writing after all this, or this is pretty bad. Although at least the only reason I even have all of these is because they were all 99p each, so I've just been buying them whenever they're 99p, so getting quite the collection going. Next we have The Potion Diaries by Amy Alwood, and this is one that I've not actually seen or heard much about other than when it first came out. I can't really remember an awful lot about it. The description on here is that it says it's the Hunger Games Ghost Princess Diaries in this modern magical teen adventure. I do remember hearing very sort of mixed things about this one, but all the same it was on my wish list and it was discounted to 99p, and so I thought I'm gonna give it a go. Then we have, oh wait, another author I keep doing this with too. American Gods by Neil Gaiman. I own several Neil Gaiman books now. I've still not read any of them. Hopefully I get on with his writing. We also have a book here now that I have been desperate to pick up for quite a long time actually, since way before my booktube channel, and that is The Boy in the Striped Pajamas by John Boyne. I'm surprised it's taken me this long to buy a copy, since you've seen my buying habits, but I do now have a copy and I'm hoping to get to this sooner rather than later, as I've heard such fantastic things about it. Another author whose books I wish I was accumulating actually, I think I've only bought a couple, so I wish I was accumulating more by him than what I actually currently have. And this is It by Stephen King. I do own the audiobook. I purchased that as part of a audiobook daily deal one day, so I got that for like a couple of pounds. And so I was looking through my collection and I was like, I do own this in audiobook, do I really need to buy the Kindle copy? And then I thought, it is such a long book, it might be really handy to actually make an exception in this one's case and actually read the same Kindle book as audiobook at the same time, so I can literally just jump between whichever one suits me best at a given time, so that I can hopefully get through this one a little bit quicker when I do pick it up. Next we have the Essex Serpent, and that is by Sarah Perry, and I can't remember much about this one, but I've seen so many good things about it, and also that cover is absolutely just so detailed. And sorry, I'm looking down because I've got the cover here, but so you can see it there because I've edited the image in, and I just think it's beautiful. I love all the little details in it, and that is so well designed. And this apparently won Waterstone's Book of the Year, and it was shortlisted for the 2016 Costa Novel Prize, Costa Novel Award. And it's also been longlisted for the Wellcome Book Prize of 2017, whatever that is. Next we have a book by an author whose books I seem to collect. That should be the name of this book haul. And that is The Shadow Wife by Diane Chamberlain. And I've been collecting her books because a couple of years back I read, oh, what's it called? I'm going to have to look it up or it's going to bother me so much. Why does she have so many books? This is not as quick and easy as I thought it would be. I should have gone on Goodreads. That would have been so much quicker. I will now do that because I'm stubborn and want to know what the book was. Is it called Breaking the Silence? Now that I'm trying to look it up, I think it has come to me. Yep, it was called Breaking the Silence. After all of that, it came to me at that point. But yeah, I gave that book 5 stars. I absolutely loved it. And so ever since then, I've been buying more of that author's work, even though I've still not read anything else since then. And so this is just the latest book in my collection. Then we have Lizzie's Secret, a gritty, heartwarming saga, and this is book 1 in the Workshop Girls series. And this is a historical fiction set in London in 1938, and so this was a book that I actually knew nothing about. It's one I don't think I'd even ever seen before, but I saw the cover, saw the title and thought, I want to have a little nosy. And after seeing that it was set in London in 1938, that was just like instant buy for me, because I absolutely love books set in London, especially historical London. Doesn't really matter what period, it's all good with me. Then we have Never Alone by Elizabeth Haynes, and this looks like it seems to be some sort of thriller. I feel like this was probably one of those ones that, again, I just purchased because it was 99p and it was a genre that I like. Don't know of anyone reviewing this, can't think of anything that I've seen about it. So to be fair though, the best thing to do with thrillers is to go into them totally blind, so that is something I will be doing when I get around to this one. Then we have The Pick, the Spade and the Crow, which is book 1 in the National Crime Against, no, that's not what it's called, the National Crime Agency series. And again, this one is not one that I'm familiar with at all. Again, I must have picked it up from the thriller section because it was 99p. Don't really know anything about this one either, so again, it'll be another one that I go into blind, which, as I said, is no bad thing. What do we have next? The Perfect Husband, which is book 1 in the FBI Profiler series. And this is by Lisa Gardner, and this one wasn't quite on such a whim because I've definitely either read or purchased books by Lisa Gardner in the past, and I can't remember if I have read any then I've obviously not enjoyed, the more I'd remember. So I think it's more likely that someone has recommended this author to me in the past, or her books have stood out to me in the past. Either way, her name stood out to me. It was 99p. It's a thriller, and so I was like, this book is calling to me. I need to buy it just in case. So I will let you know when I read this one what I think of it. Next we have a cover by, oh my goodness, the cutest cover by ever. And it's really sad that I'm going to have to wait until December to even get around to trying to read this one again. But this one is The Christmas Guest, a heartwarming tale to curl up with by the fire by Daisy Bell. And just look at that cover. You're telling me that you wouldn't have bought that for 99p? Exactly. Too cute. Then we have The Passenger by Lisa Lutz. And I can't remember much about this one. I know that it's a thriller. I know that it was one that I was seeing around quite a lot when it first came out. And so I actually never requested it at the time on NetGalley, despite remembering seeing it and thinking, oh, that might be my cup of tea. I didn't request for it because I'm trying to cut down, not that you'd think of it by this Kindle haul here, but I am trying to cut down the amount of e-books that actually make it onto my Kindle because it's getting a bit ridiculous. And so when I saw this for 99p, I was like, I've still not picked that up. I'm just going to get it while I can. Then we have All the Birds in the Sky by Charlie Jane Anders. And I've seen quite a few things about this, but I can't think where. I feel like it was relatively recently. Someone's read it. And they made me really want to read it. And so when this popped up for 99p, I was like, yes! Then we have The Unforgotten by Laura Powell. Again, I feel like this is one that I've seen someone read in reviews sometime just before buying this one. And so at 99p, I was like, yes, take my chance and get it. But I can't remember anything about it. Next is The Iron Daughter, which is the second book in the Iron Fae series by Julie Kagawa. I own the first book, I think. I hope I do. The only reason I bought the second one is because I'm sure I've got the first and I haven't read it yet. So this will be a series that I can hopefully get stuck into and read all together at some point. Then we have The Trouble with Henry and Zoe. I'm not familiar with this one at all, which makes me think that there must have been some reason why I picked it up. Can't tell you what that something was from looking on here. Again, someone must have read and reviewed this close to Christmas and I must have seen it and been like, I recognise that, 99p, buy, yes. Then we have Nightbird by Alice Hoffman, which is an author that I'm familiar with, and so I think that's literally why I bought this one, along with the fact that that's a really, really interesting cover, and at 99p, why not? The second to last book, yes, we have managed to get that far, is Soulmates by Hollyborn, and I picked this up because I've been hearing so many good things about Hollyborn, especially her Spinster Club series, and so I've been thinking that I'll read that series first and then I'll be able to read this after, as I've heard that this isn't quite so good as that, but all the same, I've been hearing such amazing things about her, so I want to read as much of her work as I can. And then finally we have The Silversmith's Wife by Sophia Tobin. I know nothing about this other than the fact that it seems to be a historical fiction, possibly with a bit of a thriller or mystery aspect from the description there. And that cover is just look at that cover. Isn't that just a beauty on a cover? That is my kind of cover. I must try and remember that for a future beautiful covers video. So yeah, that is all of the books for this part. I can't remember what parts I even still have left to film without actually going and looking through the videos, but I would guess that I've still got January's Kindle purchases and probably NetGalley books too. And let's face it, we're almost out of February, so then by then I'll have the February books to do too, so I'm not catching up on this book haul thing anytime soon. But I'm so glad to have finally got this one filmed, and I am so glad that I've finally reached the end of this video because my voice is going. And if you have made it this far, well done. Thank you so much. If you've read any of these books, if you want to recommend any other books to me, if you want to recommend any of these books to jump up my TBR because you know what I'm like, and you want me to read them because you think it will be the best thing since sliced bread for me, then drop me a comment down below. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you want to see more book reviews and other bookish content from me. And I will see you on Wednesday with my weekly reading wrap up. Bye bye!